Have you ever wondered how someone like me became a software engineer without a computer science degree? In this video, I will take you through my journey from my early interest in tech to how I got a job in the industry. So first, I want to talk about my early interest in tech and my first experiences with programming. Ever since my childhood, I've been into computers. I stumbled upon my mother's laptop and started messing around with it since seeing her play solitaire looked fun. Back then, we didn't have internet at home, but that didn't stop me from spending hours playing games and figuring out how to use the thing. As I entered secondary school, I realized that my school had a computer club and I thought, hey, why not? Our teachers showed us some seriously cool stuff like cloning a Facebook profile and even mess with people by catfishing them. It was mind-blowing and probably illegal, but it got me totally hooked in what the internet had to offer. But let me tell you, YouTube changed everything for me. Somewhere between 2012 and 13, TV just became a thing of the past for me. I just became a full-on YouTube junkie, spending hours diving into its endless sea of videos the internet had to offer. The internet just opened this whole new universe of possibilities, and I just couldn't get enough of it. Sometime later, and what felt like an eternity of nagging my mother for my own laptop, I got one for my birthday. And we also had internet now. So in addition to having my own laptop, I now had access to the collective sum of human knowledge on there. Not that I knew that at the time. Naturally, my interest in computers just skyrocketed, and I started teaching myself how to build my own website using simple HTML and CSS tutorials I could find. Even after gathering all those experiences with computers over the years, I never really considered computers as something I could build my career with. In all honesty, I had no clue what a programmer was, let alone that I had unknowingly taken steps to become one already. To summarize, I was completely clueless and had absolutely no plan whatsoever. So, in Switzerland, regular schooling typically goes up to 9th grade. After 9th grade, students have to decide whether they want to start an apprenticeship or keep going to school to prepare for university studies. Again, I was left at a loss for what I should do with my life and where to go. And to make things worse, I realized my time was running out, so I had to decide. Due to my indecision, I just applied for an apprenticeship as an IT and business manager, which was basically just an internal IT support in a company. After a few interviews, I made it to the final round of selections with some companies. However, I wasn't chosen by any of them, thankfully. At the time, I'll be honest, that sucked, but I didn't give up and started looking for other options. My fears had come true and I ran out of time. I finished the obligatory school period in Switzerland and I was left without an apprenticeship and wasn't attending any higher further education. Luckily, most cantons in Switzerland offer a solution for this very problem: the 10th grade. Fortunately, I got a spot where I went an extra year to school to have more time to figure out what I wanted to do professionally. So did I count my blessings and got to work looking for what I wanted to do? Of course not. I did absolutely nothing and nearly ran out of time again. But then my mother asked me if I might be interested in something computer science related, since I've always been interested in computers. Since all the other alternatives sounded even worse to me, I decided to give it a try and applied for a 4-year apprenticeship as a software developer. Traditionally, during apprenticeships in Switzerland, you would be employed by a company where you would work 3 days a week and attend vocational school for 2 days a week. I didn't do that. I chose to attend a program which promised to deliver all the knowledge of vocational school in the first 2 years and learn the practical experiences at a company in the form of an internship. I slightly regret choosing this option because most of the useful skills I have today were either acquired during the time I was at the company or self-taught. Fortunately, my internship was paid and I received an apprentice salary of 1,000 Swiss francs, which might not sound like a lot, but it sure was good money for me at the time. After I completed my apprenticeship, I became a certified software developer and was hired by the same company I were trained. I could pursue a bachelor's or a master's degree at university, but I don't plan to, because here in Switzerland you can easily find a new job without having a university degree. Now I just want to talk about my general thoughts on school and going to uni. Personally, I think pursuing an IT degree is definitely a valid career path and I think it works. However, for me, it just simply didn't make sense. Why spend another 4 years in school to do something I can already do? This isn't history or economics. I feel like that everything there's to know about computers, especially in my chosen field, can be found on the internet. All this exacerbated by the fact that I was tired of school and wasn't always the best student, especially when it came to math. Moreover, from my circle of acquaintances, I've seen people having major problems during their studies, and some didn't even make it through the first semester. It's undeniably a demanding program and certainly not the right fit for everyone. Therefore, I would carefully consider if it's really the right path for you. I'm not saying that you and I shouldn't or even couldn't do it. Of course, pursuing a degree comes with many advantages, such as networking and building connections, which can definitely be very helpful in future job searches. However, I was never a big fan of listening to an endless bombardment of words. I always learned more by executing ideas and concepts than just hearing about it. And thankfully, that's exactly what my apprenticeship provided me with. From day one of my time at the company, I had to work on real customer projects, which required me to acquire the necessary knowledge for each task at hand. Additionally, it was extremely beneficial to have the opportunity to learn from experienced developers, and I'm truly grateful for that. In the end, it's just all about finding the right learning style and environment that suits you best. While an IT degree has its merits, I discovered that hands-on learning and practical experiences were more aligned with my preferences and strengths. It's all about finding the right fit and seizing opportunities that allow you to learn and grow in a way that resonates with you. Now I just want to talk about the challenges and obstacles I had in my path. In my journey to become a software developer, naturally not everything went smoothly. Especially in the initial modules at school where we delved into object-oriented programming. I was completely overwhelmed and started questioning whether this was the right path for me, because in this very moment it seemed incredibly challenging. But at this point, I was already 1 year in and I couldn't just quit. I struggled with the early modules and only managed to pass them by a narrow margin. However, as time went on, I improved, and so did my grades. This progress really boosted my motivation and pushed me to pursue personal projects in my free time. The next major setback came at the beginning of the third year when I started working full-time at the company. Although my bosses assigned tasks that should have matched the level of my knowledge, suddenly they became incredibly demanding, leaving me feeling utterly overwhelmed. I had grown accustomed by the mini learning projects I had at school, with a few classes here and there and small databases. But now I found myself handling large-scale business applications containing hundreds of thousands of lines of code and millions of database records. I felt lost, unsure of where to begin, and at first I hesitated asking the senior devs for help, fearing that I might disappoint them. In general, I just really felt like that I'm in the wrong place and couldn't handle this job. But after a bit, I gained more confidence and started to realize that everybody would face challenges and setbacks along their way. It's just a normal part of the learning process, and it surely doesn't mean that you are any less capable. Looking back now, I see that those moments of doubt and struggle were crucial for my growth. They taught me resilience, adaptability, and the importance of continuous learning, and they shaped me into the person I am today. So if you are currently experiencing setbacks or doubting your abilities, just remember that it's just a part of your journey. Don't let imposter syndrome or temporary difficulties keep you from pursuing your dreams. So yeah, that was pretty much how I became a software developer. If you have any questions or even want to share your own experiences, I'd be happy to hear them, and please leave them down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.